Hi, I'm Kelsey from LifeSong, and I am so honored to be here today with my friend Troy Jones. And he is one of the most successful songwriters in the industry, and I am so privileged to be able to call him a friend and somebody that I can learn from. And he has made an awesome career in the songwriting business and been able to support his wife and 3 children and make an incredible impact in his community and among his family and his friends. And he's a great example to me. So I'm lucky to be able to have him here today to ask him some questions. So the first thing I want to know is tell me a little bit about your journey in becoming a songwriter.
Well, I started out like a lot of people in church, singing in church, just in the youth choir at church, and just took a love for music. There was a lot of music in our home, and my dad was a big music fan, and I grew up on the Merle Haggards and Johnny Cash, and as well as gospel music. And I just got a guitar when I was 12 years old, and I'd sit in my bedroom and practice chords and try to learn chords, till my little fingers would bleed. And it was something I had a passion for, just something I always wanted to do. And at that point, I never dreamed I would ever be able to do it for a living. But, I grew up and moved to Alabama, got married and had a family. And I worked in a paper mill for 20 years. And, I thought that's probably where I'll be forever. And it just kind of kept gnawing at me in the back of my mind, that I wanted to work in the music business. And started going to Nashville and hanging out at writers' nights, listening to other songwriters and meeting other songwriters, networking, and done that for a year or two, and started meeting publishers. And some of them were encouraging. They wouldn't give me a staff deal or anything, but they would encourage me to keep writing. And I just kept working at it. I was hungry for it. I kept working and writing songs, and next thing you know, I landed a publishing deal, and started doing it for a living. And it's been a long process, a long journey, but it's been real rewarding, and met a lot of wonderful, great people along the way. And for the last 20 plus years, I got to do something that I really love, and I feel blessed with it. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Thank you. What a neat journey you've had.
Mm-hmm.
So what accomplishment in the music industry are you the most proud of?
There's been a lot of milestones along the way. Getting my first publishing deal, I was really proud because I felt like it kind of validated me, like, okay, I'm an official songwriter or whatever. And even though I didn't have any real commercial success or anything at that time, I was able to do it, for a living. And so that was a real proud moment for me. And then, getting my first song recorded was a big day, was a big thing. And then I always wanted, I think every songwriter wants to hear their song on the radio. And that was a big motivator for me. I just thought, man, one day I want to ride down the road and hear my song on the radio. And I remember the first day that happened, and I could have cried, But that was a big moment for me. There's been a lot of them, some of the people I've met along the way. I met some wonderful people, met you through the music business at the Bluebird, and just met a lot of great people, worked with the most talented musicians in the world, really and truly. Worked with some Hall of Fame songwriters, all those things that you look back on, and I kind of pinch myself sometimes that I got to do that. I'm just an old country boy from a small town and with a high school education, but I had a love and a passion for music, and so there's a lot of I could stand here all day and talk about all the things that mean a lot to me, but there's a lot of highlights, and there's a lot of hard times, a lot of tough times, the business can be a tough business, but I heard Randy Travis say one time, if the people that make it are the people that don't quit, and I didn't quit, and anyway, I'm just honored and glad that I was able to do that.
That's awesome. Well, I think everybody that got to cross paths with you was the lucky one.
Well, I thank you. Appreciate it.
I'd like to ask you, and you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what advice do you have for beginning songwriters?
To write. Somebody told me early on that writers write, dancers dance, painters paint, ropers rope, and just work at the craft, listen to other people's songs, you sit down and listen to a hit song or a song you really like and just pick that song apart and see what makes that song a good song. Really good songs have a neat order to them. They flow. They almost sound like they wrote themselves sometimes. And just study the art, study the craft, and work with people that are a little bit better than you, and it'll make you better. Just keep grinding, keep polishing your songs, keep writing, and just stay focused on what you're doing. And also, I have to say too, have some fun. Go out and play some venues, play some music for your friends and writers' nights and places like that, and that'll keep you going too. That'll get you through some hard times. Just the camaraderie of other songwriters and being with people who are doing what you're doing. So,
Awesome, great advice. Thank you so much. Okay, one more question.
Okay.
What do you think about the LifeSong concept?
Oh man, when you shared that with me, I told my wife, Patsy, that I just thought it was such a unique, fresh idea. I just think it's a great idea. I'm really excited for you, and I'm anxious to sit back and see what happens with this thing. And I just think it's an awesome, awesome thing. I think people out here in the world need to see this thing and to hear about it and to hear these stories of these people that are just like all of us. And I just commend you for doing that. I'm just pulling for you. I'm in your corner, and can't wait to see what happens. So,
Thank you so much. Well, I'll try to pay you for that plug. You take change, pennies?
Yeah, or donuts.
Okay, donuts. Sounds like a good deal.
Yeah.
So honored to be here today with
Thank
Troy
you.
Jones, and
Thank you.
thank you for all that you've done as my friend and in the industry and all the good that you do. He's
Thank
a
you.
legend. So
I love you. Thank you.
You heard it here at LifeSong, where your story is music to our ears.